Barakada Yahweh, Barakada Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. And this is speaking to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true children of Israel, especially in the United States of America, Babylon the Great in the scriptures, spiritual Egypt as well, because America was never meant to be a land of opportunity or an American dream or a place of rest for us. We came to this country and have continued to be in this country as second-class citizens, as slaves, under hardcore bondage under these Edomites. This was our punishment for going off from following after the laws, statutes, and commandments of our power. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Just read the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Well, you may have some jakes so-called, making it on this side. Just look at the majority of our people. The first fired, the last hired, looked at as the lowest of the low in society. Niggers, spics, tontos, thugs, gangsters, whores, illegal aliens, etc., etc. And for the majority of our people who do not want to accept that fact, that want to continue to remain in this captivity, treating it like it's their salvation, you're ultimately going to be destroyed along with this country when it's plagued by Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, through famines, pestilences, martial law, a civil war, racial skirmishes, and ultimately 200 million nuclear missiles, which are going to hit this place and turn it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea. Because it is polluted, and it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. And I'm about to go into an article just to show clearly that this place is not our rest, and it just continues to pollute our people. Our nation is at the lowest it's ever been throughout our history and throughout the different heathen captivities we've been in. And to be honest, the majority of our people need a great reset. They need to come back in the kingdom through the loins of the elect of the nation of Israel, who have come back to their power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and are doing everything they can to stay in his good graces to see salvation. But the article I'll be reading from is on blackenterprise.com, titled So-Called Black Workers, because you so-called African Americans in the United States, you're not African American, Black, or Negro. You're an Israelite, specifically the Southern Kingdom, most likely Judah, but then there's also Benjamin and Levi. The Benjamites being the so-called West Indians, your Jamaicans, and then the Levites being your so-called Haitians. But as it says, so-called black workers are dying on the job at a high rate. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. And as we'll see in this article, it's not just the Southern Kingdom or the so-called Negroes that are dying at a high rates on these jobs out here, but it's also the Northern Kingdom, so-called Latinos specifically, but then you've also got the so-called Native Americans who are part of the Northern Kingdom as well. All 12 tribes are going through it in the United States of America, again, because this place was not a place of rest for us. It was a place of judgment and punishment for our disobedience from our power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And this article was published on April 28th of 2023 this year. April 28th is Workers' Memorial Day. The American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations released an annual report to spread awareness on the alarming rise in workers' deaths, particularly among so-called black and brown workers, all 12 tribes accounted for. Death on the job, the toll of neglect, a national and state-by-state profile of worker safety and health, not only includes data on the fatality rates in all 50 states, but also the most affected industries. The report is a call to action for funding and support needed for critical job safety, oversight, and enforcement. More progress is needed. Though underreporting is widespread, AFL-CIO discovered the fatality rate for black workers grew from 3.5% to 4.0% per 100,000 workers, and more than 650 died on the job, the highest number in nearly 2 decades. Latin workers, on the other hand, had the greatest risk of dying on the job, with a fatality rate at 4.5% per 100,000 workers. This number has grown by 13% over the past decade. In 2021, the overwhelming majority who died were immigrants. And if you notice, it's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that work the deadliest jobs out here, that work the most manual labor, extensive jobs out here. Again, because this place was not our rest. It was punishment for our disobedience under our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. And now let's go into some of the curses to show, to further show that these are just the curses in ensnaring, in wrapping around you and engulfing you Israelites. Look what we have right here, Finney Floyd. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. The chapter dealing with the curses that would befall the Israelites for their disobedience unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city. And we can clearly see our people are cursed in these different cities. From gang violence, robberies, our women deleting our children in mass numbers. And as we're reading in this article, Jake working on these jobs and having the highest fatality rates. And cursed shalt thou be in the field. And when you go to Matthew chapter 13, the field is representative for the entire planet. Wherever our people dwell on this planet, the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 follow them. Real quick, let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people in the whole field, or the whole world. Are people scattered from one end of the earth unto the other amongst these different heathen nations? And while you have these different, while you have your traditional looking Israelites, your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you also have the Israelite foreigners who, due to generations of intermixing with these heathens, Israelite men having sex with heathen women, those children came out as Israelites. And a lot of them have come to look like these different heathens out here. You have Israelites that look like Edomites, or so-called white people, Moabites, or the so-called Chinese, etc., etc. From one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. These different religions and philosophies that our people have clung unto and followed after amongst these different heathen nations, and have further brought these curses upon themselves. But really, I wanted to get verse 65. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shalt the sole of thy foot have rest. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field. But Yahweh shall give thee a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And look at our people out here, just completely stressed out and bugged out due to personal tragedies in their lives, and us having to, work these hardcore jobs out here, which just further break us down. We are truly in a worst case scenario. But now let's go to another of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. This is verse 19, and I'm going to get a few different translations of it. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The New Living Translation, wherever you go and whatever you do, you will be cursed. When we're born into this world, we've got the curses on us. And only when we die and go to the spirit world are the curses taken off of us. And also, we're cursed when we go out. We face getting pulled over by these cops, and whatever happens. Hey, we face our own people, hey, carjacking us, robbing us, murdering us, these heathens coming after us, just freak accidents occurring, hey, like what goes in on the job, etc., etc. And when you come into your house, you're cursed. What? Dealing with bills, dealing with family issues, especially amongst the Southern Kingdom, the so called Negroes. More often than not, that so called black woman you come home to is a demon, putting you through hell, not cooking you dinner, not wanting to be feminine, and what? More often than not, cheating on you behind your back. And then what? You have women with these children and they leave you and put you on child support. This is the contemporary English version. Yahweh will make you fail in everything you do. And for the majority of our people, whatever business ventures or anything they try to do, what happens? Something takes place to make it fall apart. The Good News translation, Yahweh will curse everything you do. And these curses are only going to be truly taken off when Yahushai, the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, returns to save his elect and put an end to the rulership of these heathens and begin establishing the kingdom of heaven. The elect of the nation of Israel, who are doing whatever they can right now to stay in the good graces of their power, are going to be the first fruits of salvation in the kingdom with those curses completely taken off of them, because that's when we're going to be fully under the new covenant with the laws, statutes, and commandments in us, where we're never going to go off ever again, and we're going to be in those new spiritual bodies. And then the wicked of our people who are put to death on this side are going to be reborn through the loins of the elect under the new covenant, righteous, never going off, with the curses no longer on us. We're finally going to be at peace and rest and can enjoy the fruit of our labors. But until then, we're subject to these curses and these trials and tribulations that we must go through. Every American should be alarmed and outraged by the tragic data unearthed in this report, said AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler, according to a press release obtained by Black Enterprise. Latin workers, Salakia. This article is real finicky. It is unconscionable that in the wealthiest nation in the world, Black and Latino workers are facing the highest on-the-job fatality rates in nearly 2 decades. Again, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, for it shall pollute you and destroy you with the sword destruction. What we should be doing right now is arising and departing from this place spiritually, not being taken by the cares and the affairs of this life, doing whatever we can to follow after our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, and the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities, using the world but not abusing it, because of course we have to make our daily bread. We have to go out on these jobs, deal amongst these heathens and the wicked of our people. Brothers, come into this truth with women and children, and you got to deal with them. But remember what your first labor is, your first love, being obedient spiritually to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. And then we're going to physically arise and depart out of this place when Yahushai returns with the armies of heaven, those fleets of chariots or so-called UFOs to beam us up as nukes hit this place and make a speedy riddance to it, and make a speedy riddance to the wicked of our people who still want to cling unto this American, Babylonian, Egyptian lifestyle, death style. This report is more than a wake-up call. It is a call to action. No one should have to risk their lives for their livelihoods. There is no corporate cost-benefit analysis that should put human life and worker safety on the wrong side of the ledger, Schuler said. From hazardous working conditions to occupational diseases, this year's AFL-CIO report also revealed that in 2021, 5,190 workers were killed on the job in the United States. Employers also reported nearly 3.2 million work-related injuries and illnesses. See, with this article, you get the point. You see the picture. Our people are still under these curses under this very day. And to the wicked of our people that don't want to get right, they just continue to have these many different fatalities and afflictions before you, as well as these Edomites that run America and these other heathens in America are just completely wiped off the map when those 200 million nuclear missiles hit this place and turn it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea and then a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards. Now I'm going to close it out in Isaiah chapter 31, verses 1 to 3. Woe or destruction to them that go down to Egypt for help, this modern day spiritual Egypt, the United States of America, as pursuant to Revelation 11, verse 8, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. You trust in this image and power that America has right now, the strongest military and that US dollar, thinking that it's never going to go down, and America is the pinnacle of what life is supposed to be. But as we can clearly see with these current events, that's not the case. America's military is breaking down, and that dollar with that world reserve currency is slipping away from the US. This place is quickly becoming a third world country, and before you know it, there's going to be riots, death, destruction, famine, and pestilences plaguing the streets of America as judgment on you people for all the wickedness you've been committing. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh, speaking to the 2/3 of our people who don't want to come back to their power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, but want to continue to live this death style. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians, the Edomites, these so-called white people, these white Americans are men and not the Most High, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. Read in, I believe it's Daniel chapter 4, the Most High setteth up in the kingdom of men whosoever he will to rule, even the basest of men. The Most High set up these Edomites and gave them everything they have to rule for a season. But our people worship this Edomite more than the Most High, as if he were God. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. Those that put up the system and those that cling to and uphold the system, hey, everybody's going down in spiritual Egypt, the United States of America. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites, primarily from America, spiritual Egypt. So as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.